Hello everyone, welcome to today's Daily Source with myself, Mr. Noah Hammond. This is the show where I meditate and then I tap in, I give myself the guidance that I most need to hear to serve my growth and expansion. I share it with all of you, and at the end I ask a powerful question to ponder that's going to help put this advice into play in my life. So welcome to the Daily Source. Let's see what's coming through today. So what do I most need to hear for my highest good and for the highest good of all other beings involved? In order to feel deeply supported in your life, you need to learn how to trust. Trust is the fundamental energy and exchange that allows you to receive support. And this is from your team, from your family, from people around you, but also from the unfoldment of your life, from the universe, from spirit, from source, from energy, from whatever you want to call it. Trust is what actually allows that to show up, because it's what allows you to stop taking actions, thinking thoughts, and being certain ways that hinder the ability for people around you and the universe around you to show up for you. When you're not trusting, you overanalyze. When you're not trusting, you ask too many questions. When you're not trusting, you take lots of actions that if you actually were trusting, you could entrust into the people around you who are wanting to support you, your mission, where you're going, and your life being one that's thriving and abundant. Okay? I know this is big for me right now because I'm growing my team for my business and I'm putting amazing people around me, and it's also something difficult for me to do for this reason, obviously. So what else do I need to know? A lack of trust is incredibly common because this is a difficult world we're living in, and so yourself and everyone else included, you have experiences, plenty of reference experiences that can show why a lack of trust is granted and warranted, and why it's most important for you to exercise your control on the environment around you in order to create a predictable result and a safe outcome for yourself, and to ultimately create the desired result that you have in mind for yourself. So it's completely natural. And if you look for it, no matter how difficult your life has been, you can find plenty of reference experiences where the world showed up as incredibly trustworthy, where people showed up as trustworthy, where the universe showed up as trustworthy, where miracles and synchronicities came together and delivered you the result, where the money showed up just on time, where people lived by their word and delivered what they promised, where people were straightforward and gave their all and produced a result in service to you in your life in some way, or in collaboration with you in your life in some way. There are plenty of moments where if you look for them, you'll find them. And it's like the poker player, right? You used to play a lot of poker, and every poker player will remember forever their worst beats. Every poker player will remember that time when they were in with the best hand and the card came out that gave the loser the win and they lost a bunch of money. But very few poker players will remember their biggest wins, their most amazing streaks, their most amazing lucks of the draw for themselves. And trust is very similar for you. It's easier to remember the times when people showed up failing and not trustworthy than it is for you to remember the times where people showed up trustworthy. Because the times where people failed to show up trustworthy are the times where you needed to then make an adjustment, deal with a crisis, and overcome something. And the times where people showed up trustworthy, those are typically the times where things just worked, and so you paid very little attention to it. So your job is to recreate your relationship to trust, and to analyze and interpret and recognize the ways in which your blinders have been on to the trust of the universe that it really is available to you, and not only available to you, but right now being required of you. You'll never have an amazing team around you and supporting you until you allow yourself to let go of your barriers to trust. And then people can show up to support you because you're allowing the space for their genius to shine and for their contribution to be given to you, for you to receive their contribution. So skipping right to the powerful question, today it's about what are reference experiences in my past where people and the universe at large showed up incredibly trustworthy? And what conversations, ways of beings, or just shifts do I need to make to allow more trust into the space, into the atmosphere around me? Cool. All right, that's it for today's Daily Source. Sending y'all tons of love, tons of good juju, tons of positivity.